The sun filtered through the tall pine trees as Ms. Davis led her class deeper into the Florida woods, excited chatter filling the air. The students were on a much-anticipated field trip to explore the wildlife and ecosystems of one of Florida's national forests. Armed with notebooks and cameras, they marveled at the towering trees, the occasional scampering lizard, and the vibrant birdsong that echoed through the forest. Everything seemed perfect for a day of discovery in nature's classroom. As the group ventured further along the trail, a strange stillness began to settle over the woods. The usual sounds of insects and birds became eerily quiet. Miss Davis glanced around, her earlier confidence wavering. "All right, everyone," she called out, her voice slightly uneasy. "Let's stick together and make sure no one gets left behind." But as she turned to count the students, she noticed that a few at the back had stopped to examine a strange patch of mushrooms. She walked over, but when she reached the spot, they were gone. Panic set in as Ms. Davis searched the area, calling their names, but there was no response. She rushed back to the rest of the group, only to find that they, too, had vanished without a trace. Her heart raced as she realized she was entirely alone in the dense, silent forest. Ms. Davis frantically retraced her steps, shouting for help, but the deeper she went, the more disoriented she became. The once familiar path now seemed to twist and shift under her feet. Hours passed, and the forest grew darker, the trees casting long shadows in the fading light. Ms. Davis felt as though the woods themselves were swallowing her whole. She stumbled upon an old clearing, one that looked as though it hadn't been touched by human hands in decades. There, she saw the remnants of other field trips, backpacks, notebooks, and shoes scattered across the ground, but no signs of life. As the last bit of daylight disappeared, the forest seemed to close in around her, and she realized with growing dread that her class was not the first to vanish in the Florida woods, and they wouldn't be the last.